we are now recording. We are now not live, but okay.
Let's do this.
Yes.
All right. Welcome to another episode of the Sculptsters, the podcast about digital minis, design, and the artists behind them. I'm Tom Mason.
I'm Patrick Keith. Oh, okay. Did I step on you?
Keep it going, boys.
I'm not Patrick Keith. I'm Bill Thornhill.
Together, we have sculpted thousands of miniatures and worked with the leading brands in tabletop gaming. Join us as we explore the world of miniature design, inspiration, and the hobby of tabletop gaming. All right, what have you guys been up to in the hobby realms? What have you been doing to enjoy your hobby?
I've been busy. I've probably been busier than I've been for probably, I don't know, a couple of years.
Wow, that's good.
Nice. I've just had the bit between my teeth, and I've been working on lots of. Well, that's not come off. Oh, there we go. Sorry, I pressed the wrong buttons. So okay. I've been working on lots of terrain, which I've not done for a long time. So first up, I have my Necromunda terrain, Zone Mortalis stuff, which is from the Dragon's Rest STL collection. And I'm really, really loving this stuff. It prints off really easily. And it was very easy to paint up. I just used an airbrush for all the walls. I need to go over the floors and muck them up a bit because the bits are looking a bit too clean, and throw a bit more rust down, I think. But other than that, I was quite pleased with how they came out. And one of the things that I've decided to do for the future is I'm going to work on terrain for a project before I work on the figures. Because I think once you've built the terrain, you've got all the incentive in the world then to get figures on it. Whereas you paint your figures up and then you go, I've got no terrain. Oh, this is going to be a big job. So I'm going to do kind of reverse psychology on myself. As well as that, I've done my Mordheim terrain. These buildings are from Tired World Studios. It was an Australian guy called Scott, and he made this kind of what was it called? Kickstarter. That's the word I'm looking for. Kickstarter. He made a Kickstarter for his kind of world of Hexengarde, which is basically Mordheim. So he did all these ruined buildings, and the collection now is vast. Not only has he got all the buildings from Mordheim, all crumbling and also fully complete if you want them, but he's done a Dockland version as well, which is really cool. So I've printed up the warehouse for that, and I've also printed up this big, huge thing, which is the ruined tavern, which is a nice big 3-story kind of affair. Now that took a while to print up, but I mean it's certainly going to look nice when it's all painted.
Are you going to bring any of that to Adepticon, or are we using?
No, we're going to use Tom's again. It's the same stuff that Tom had on his.
This is for you in your area.
Yeah. This is just for me. It's all mine.
Are you printing this on a resin printer, or
no? This is all FDM. It's
FDM. Okay.
Yeah, a Bamboo A1 I've got, which is
very nice.
If you're going to start with an FDM printer, it's probably the best one to buy out there because it's really is plug and play.
It's on my wish list.
Yeah, it's well worth it. Or the P1P, I believe, is just as good. It's about $50 more, but I believe it's a bit faster. But I mean, this is plenty fast enough. It's actually on the go downstairs now as we're chatting. So I printed off these, and then the next thing I've printed off is my Flesh Eater's Corpse for Age of Sigmar. I like the workshop stuff, but it's bloody expensive, quite frankly. So I've got a load of STLs from Highland Miniatures and Artisan Guild and someone else that I got the winged beasties from. And these are all just great. So I've got everything printed up that I need now. I just need to undercoat it and start the painting process. So Yeah, that's kept me busy. So it's lots of printing and not that much painting. What about you?
Well, I'm moving along with my.
No, I've got them in the wrong order. No, it's Tom next. Hold your horses.
Well, it's
Tom
next.
Oh, I thought you said I was going last.
I know.
I
I
go
did.
next.
That's in
Oh, that's what popped up. All right.
Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain, folks.
Yeah. So I did get some. I made sure to get some hobby time in since we last spoke, and for me, that's just getting to the painting table and painting something. So this figure is I might have talked about it before, but it's a Ronin daimyo. I think he was my daimyo for a Test of Honor campaign that I sculpted. I just wanted to have my own character, and I had started painting him a while ago. Never finished him in time to play a game with him, but now I got him done. So
he looks excellent.
Had a lot of fun with that. I believe that
cool.
That character means king. I think that's what that means.
Oh, the character that painted on his belly.
Yeah, I was gonna do death, but it was way too complicated, so I just did king. He's the bandit king, and we just needed something on his tummy.
King of Death,
right?
But yeah,
there's a lot of real estate right there for you to do some freehanding on for sure.
So.
Yeah. So if anybody is a Test of Honor fan, I'm just planning to use him as a Chobai stand-in. That's one of the character leader models that you can play with in that game. But I just had a lot of fun making my own.
Did you print
special
him?
unit? I did. Yep.
Yeah.
So sculpted him, printed him, painted him.
Is he for sale?
Not yet, but I guess he'll probably be my very first STL that I sell, because I have no intention of molding him. I guess I could, but it seems silly when I don't have anything specific for it to go with. But I would love to if other people would enjoy him too.
Oh, so. I think so. I think lots of people would like him.
That's great.
He's great.
Yeah, it's got a lot of character.
So and then go ahead.
So I was just going to say, we got mechs next.
Yeah. So as soon as I finished this guy, I was like, man, what am I going to paint next? I always try and keep something on my table. I try not to. Every now and then I'll get like half a dozen projects, and then I just don't do anything because I start to I just can't approach any of them because there's too much. So my table's pretty clean, but I'm like getting the next thing ready, and I'm thinking, what's it going to be? And I have been for years wanting to paint the Robotech RPG Tactics miniatures. Even before that game existed, I had some Robotech models in that scale that I was going to use to play some homebrew miniatures game somebody made. So I have decided I'm going to start painting them now, finally. So it was a great day last week, nice out. So I went ahead and primed it, got some colors picked out. Still trying to pick what blue I'm going to use for it. Probably that lighter one, but none of them are exactly right. But I'm just like, you just got to paint. That's what you need to do.
But what is done?
Get her done.
Done rather than perfect.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Because I played the game. Gosh, so long ago at Adepticon. They had a demo there, and I was stoked about it before then, and I loved it. And I got all my miniatures, and I have quite a few put together, but I've never played it, never painted any. I'm like, you got to do it.
I've got must be like a dozen rule books there that I've never played. I've painted stuff for, but never played.
Yeah.
If
I can get enough done, I'll bring a set of them to Adepticon. Hopefully, play.
That'd be good fun.
Anybody that wants to. So,
I got that
terrain,
big box set.
That's not a bad idea. You said about the terrain. What were you saying, Patrick?
Oh, I said I backed the big giant box set thing or whatever on Kickstarter, and I was lucky enough to get one. They shipped it out. I know there was a lot of people. There was a controversy about that, but and it's somewhere. I think it's still in the attic. I've never put any of the things together, but now I was seeing that. I was like, ooh, maybe I should dig that out and look at it. So
they are good figures,
cool.
But they are a lot of work. There's so many pieces to put together. But I love Robotech, so I'm willing to fight through that.
So
I was going to say,
for the uninitiated, is Robotech vastly different from BattleTech, or is it?
Oh yeah, way more high speed, a lot more flying going on. You know, it's true Japanese mecha action. So the big thing I always remember from Robotech, the kind of dynamic thing, is just a billion missiles. They're flying all over the place, zipping around. You know, it's maybe 10% of them hit near the target. The rest of them get blown up, and they're just zipping around. And it's got some neat mechanics that sort of emulate that. Plus the dynamic of you know, one side is the Zentradi, which is what that is. That's for the Zentradi battle pod. And the other side's the humans, and they're Veritech fighters. And so you typically have way fewer of the humans because their fighters are more powerful in general, and they can change into these different modes. They can zip around as a jet or turn into a robot and beat stuff up.
And that's separate from Gundam, isn't it?
Correct, but there's a lot. They're way closer than, you know, BattleTech is to either one of them. So.
Did
Robotech is
Did BattleTech come from Japan, or is that a Western?
A lot of the designs did.
Right.
You know, well, I guess all the original designs did come from that, but they made their own game, their own world. Yeah. None of that was from Japan. It was really just getting access to the models and the designs to be able to make the miniatures out of.
That's cool. I like that walker though. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. And then they're fun. They fly around too. So, but that was, you were saying, talking about terrain. I was like, man, I'm going to paint this one first, but that's a good point. I have nothing terrain wise in this scale. But I'm hopeful that, because these are even bigger than a BattleTech miniature is. So hopefully maybe a little easier than 28mm terrain. That's for sure.
Yeah. I think having that board now that I've got for Necromunda, I've already got an Orlok clan painted up, but now I want to get lots painted up. So it's lit a fire under me to get stuff up. And so I think, if you have terrain set out already, you're going to want to go through those models like a Deus Assaults. Yeah. Kind of cool. What about you, Patrick? What have you been up to?
I don't know. I think I mentioned this last time. I'm working on my Astra Militarum stuff.
Yeah.
But tomorrow, or actually the day after we're recording this, which will be Wednesday this week, one of my old videos from the other channel is supposed to go live, which was us building our little Warhammer buildings and the little townhouses for the Dark Grim City type thing, so you could use them for more time. So I got that all set up and that's ready to go. But as far as like painting and that sort of thing, I had started off collecting all of my Astra Militarum assets for the 1,000 points that I wanted to put together. And it's kind of based around, I was looking through the Crusade rules, which is a narrative campaign play for 40K. And you can... as a campaign, once you put your guys together, you play a certain number of games, and then the different units they get upgrades, and you can pick different war gear that will enhance their abilities the further that you go. So it works pretty much like any other campaign system. So but what I wanted to do was something that was kind of based on the what do they call the Elysium drop troops or whatever that. Really cool. And so because I had gotten the Wrath and Glory role-playing game, which is set in a specific, it's an invented sector of space for the role-playing game. They have their own Astra Militarum regiments that are from that sector. So I went and dug up a little bit of the lore, and I thought, okay, well, if they were going to have drop troops, then they would be called this, and I came up with they're like the 536th Skyborn Gravediggers, right? So from that setting. And what I wanted to do, and I had that idea before Hivestorm, the Kill Team supplement came out, or the new box set, the new edition came out last October. And so once they had the new Tempestus Aquilons in that, I was like, oh, okay, well, now that those are going to be in plastic, I'm going to make this army. And because I already had, I think I already had the Valkyrie, but there was very, very few things that I had collected up to that point. So along the way, I've been grabbing a box here and grabbing a box there and just stashing it. with the intent of putting this force together. But I kind of wanted to do sort of, they're not really desert camo, but it's kind of based loosely on the Desert Storm US camouflage pattern that they had. And I found some pictures of that online, to look at, to see, okay, well, what does the pattern look like? What do the colors look like? And, what are the webbing and the weapons and that sort of thing. So across the different squads, I'm going to try to incorporate a lot of that look. And I tested out my little sponging technique to see if that would work as far as like the camouflage pattern goes. And it worked.
It does.
So it went very quick. Now the picture that I have here of the squad that's in progress, that's like 3 hours worth of work from the assembly. So like they were assembled, and like I primered them and I put the base coats down, and then I sponged on all the camouflage, and then so they're at this point, this is 3 hours in, so I'm expecting probably another 3 hours to get that squad done. And
they're looking really good.
And then that'll be table ready, So then I can, I've got to, or not, right? Yeah, exactly.
Don't you need another 1,000 of them?
Yeah, exactly.
It looks really cool. I'm actually, if I can interrupt real quick.
Sure.
They camo always worries me with miniatures because it can like break up the form, but it's subtle enough that you can still really see, or placed well enough you can really see the silhouette still.
Yeah. Well, and I've already gone in and painted. Now I don't have pictures of it yet. That'll probably be next week, the progress that I make on it between now or the next episode or whatever. Once you paint the faces and like their packs and stuff, it reads as camouflage because that stuff's not camouflage. So it's like you can see, oh, okay, it's not just messy paint on it. It's intentional, So so that was a lot of fun. And now I'm working on scaling that up because the next thing that I'm working on is a Sentinel, the Scout Sentinel for it. And then I'll do the Valkyrie later on. So I'm going to scale up the sponging technique and use natural sea sponges in order to sponge a larger texture, pattern and stuff over on that. So I'm really excited to try that and see if that's going to work like, I'm seeing it in my head. So
yeah, it's very effective. And I imagine pretty quick to throw down.
Yeah, that was the important thing because even though it's 1,000 points, it's not like a bigger army. Yeah, I didn't want to spend a lot of time working on it. I'd like to get it wrapped up and get to play with it. So
yeah, they're looking cool. So how big a force are you gonna actually end up with?
With this, it's going to be 1,000 points. So I've got I think there's 3 or 4 squads of infantry. Then I've got like a squad of the HQ unit, which are Tempestus Scions, and then I've got a squad of rattling snipers nice. That's going to go in this. And is
that by any chance Victoria Miniatures rattlings?
I do have those, but I've got the ones from the Kill Team expansion, so I'm just going to use those. But I printed out a little squad of the little girl snipers from Victoria that she did, and they're fantastic. And I've got those in a box, and that'll probably be like once I start building the 2,000 points, the next 1,000 points onto it, I'll include those with the next detachment. Or
she does some great stuff for Imperial Guard.
Oh yeah, they're fantastic.
Yeah. It's kind of a nice niche she's made for herself there.
I remember when she was sculpting Beastmen, like in putty back in the day. Yeah,
back in the day.
Oh, back in the day.
We all sound old,
right?
Oh, hang on, we are.
But
really nice.
That's all I've been working on as far as hobby stuff goes. So,
well, that's not an insubstantial amount. I mean, that's small figures I've painted. So
I did one that was already half painted.
But you painted it exquisitely though.
So thank you.
Yes, yeah. See, now if you were just like sponging stuff on there like I did, it's like, well, you can knock out,
I will have a batch of models to dip soon. It'll make Bobby Jackson
okay
proud.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
I
Okay,
don't do it on everything, but
what are those ones?
it'll be. I've got a backlog of figures I plan to paint up for Rangers of Shadow Deep. Funny enough, which is where I encountered this. I mean, I know the dip technique's been around forever, but Bobby painted everything to play that first campaign with, and we played it at Adepticon, and so I've got a few of them started, but I need to just blast through them.
Nice, nice.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, let's get round to work. What have we been working on? I suppose I'll go first. It's in that order.
It's in the rotation. Yeah.
It's in the rotation. It's all very slick here, folks, as you can tell. So I've got out the first of my Napoleonic British for Silver Bayonet this month. And I've decided, unlike I did before, is I'm going to do a Silver Bayonet version and then just a normal historical version for people so they can use them however they want them. Which does mean I've got to go back through the Austrians and Russians now and redo them all. But I mean, it's not too bad when you're taking things away rather than having to add them. So it shouldn't take too long. And this was fun to do. I think it came out better than I thought when I printed it. It's nice, and the detail was nice and defined. So I was quite pleased with this one. So he's a normal British infantry kind of corporal chap. And I'm going to probably work on the officer next, I think, because that's probably usually the one that I'd start with, but I didn't this time. Mainly because I'd done that sharp figure, so I felt as though I've already done an officer almost. Following that, I did some zombies for generic Stargrave type games, because I like Stargrave because I can solo play it if I need to, but also the local club I've started attending now, they're big into Frostgrave and Stargrave, so these will come in handy to shamble down corridors and things like that. And the last thing I've done for this month, which is technically for next month, but I finished them today, so it kind of counts, is I redid all my little SecBot droids, little security droids that I did.
Yeah, I just saw you post that
a couple of years ago. And I really liked them, but I feel as though I rushed the design, and there's just certain things I didn't like. I didn't like the feet, and I didn't like they didn't have much definition in the fingers, and just little things like that. But it's kind of, it's like the itch is there and annoys you. So I took the plunge and spent a day just ripping them apart and giving them all separate arms so they can be modular, and made a few extra weapons for them and a couple of heads, and now they're all they've actually just been printed out literally about half an hour ago. So I'm gonna get them assembled and do some painting tomorrow, I think, in between all the other stuff I have to do. But yeah, they were fun to do, so I'm quite happy with them. You, Pat, you're first up. This looks good.
Well, speaking of robots, I went back into my files and I've revised the little Seeker robot for the Mechas faction and Counterblast. So it's like these guys are good for Stargrave or 5 parsecs from home, or any of that kind of stuff. You can use them for anything.
Hero, they'd be a great little robot minion.
Yeah, you've made me feel less OCD now.
What?
You've gone back and redone some.
Yeah. So, I didn't really have to revise. I just went and I guess I patched up some of the connection points for where the stabilizers attach, and that kind of thing. But the one that's in the middle with the big radar dish, that's the original design. And then I went back and made a couple of variants of that so that I could put them out as a pack of 3. So the little chassis comes on a sprue with like 3 little chassis, and then you get sprues of like the stabilizers that you can glue on there. And then it comes with the bases already have a hole in them, so there's a little clear 2 millimeter diameter rod, acrylic piece that comes in the pack, and so it's kind of like a little clear flight post, I guess, that goes with it. So that's all included together in the set, and so those are over on the web store now. and on bombshellminis.com. And then the STL file is still the original version of it over on my Mini Factory, so you can still get it as a digital download.
Cool.
But
are these going to be digital?
And then I went back. What's that?
Will these be digital downloads as well?
Yeah, I haven't exported it to revise the file over there. So anybody that's bought the Seekers before that are over on my Mini Factory, it'll send them an automatic update whenever I update those files, and then they can just download the new version of it if they already have it.
Very cool.
So, and then I went back in and started working on the Vorog piece, which is like the big 4-armed ape thing.
Yeah,
for
that's cool.
The Nira.
That's really cool.
Yeah, that's on a 50 millimeter base, so it's a big critter.
Nice.
And I had never finished the fur texture on it, and so I went back into the original base mesh that I had that was like the A pose, and I've just started retexturing all the fur and stuff on it. So then I'll repose that, and I'm hoping to have it maybe next week or probably the week after, but I'd like to have it out before the end of the month. So
yeah, that's really cool.
I'm trying to get power through that. The next thing that I did was I wrapped up the grilps for MCDM, which is a license that Trenchworks has.
Yeah.
And so it's a couple of these little Mephit looking monster things.
Really cool
The art was really cool. So it was very exciting to sculpt from that, because any kind of cool piece of art, which we're going to talk about later in the episode, it really inspires you to like, ooh, I can do this and do that with it and all that sort of thing. So those guys were fun to work on. And Dave came back and he said, well, hey, can you make the wings and the heads modular, key them for that. So I set that up. But then the other big release that I had was for Tabletop Time over in Australia. I was working on their Kindred of the Abyss Kickstarter project for one of the regiments or little packs of sailor guys that they had for that. And so I made all these modular guys. There's like 10 body types and like all these different heads and different arm with weapon options and all this. So I sculpted up those for Tabletop Time, and they just released those, so that's over on their website. You can, I want to say it's like $15 or whatever for the STL files, and you can download them. But the cool thing about it is that they're working on their own game system, and then they also put out rules that are compatible with one-page rules for the OPR Grimdark firefight thing. So you can go ahead and start playing with these guys using that rule system, and you can just download it for free and put them on the tabletop.
Yeah, that really cool.
The next project I'm working on for them is the Sisters of the Old Blood. So I'm doing some Victorian proto vampire chicks or whatever. They've talked about it on some of their YouTube videos and that already. So I'm really excited about getting to work on those next. So
yeah, that's really cool.
That's what.
How do you happen to know how it works with the one-page rule stuff? Is it open source? People can just make their own stats, or do you?
I've looked into that a little bit. Yeah, they're. I think you have to kind of go through a process, because they've got kind of a submission thing on their website, and I know like here, Vicky's been converting like some of our Edo stuff and some of our other things from Counterblast in order to play those specific things in one-page rules.
Nice.
And but I think that like if you publish rules for that, it has to be like a free download, but you can sell your own minis.
Yeah.
And so it's that kind of a thing. So but there's some stuff on their website about it. Yeah.
Cool.
You, Tom?
All right. Well, I have been hard at work. This is why I only painted one miniature. No, I'm just kidding.
Because you have a real job.
I finished sculpting the Goblin Menace, everything for the Goblin Menace. So I just have a couple here that I'm sharing. Wrapped up the last of the special characters. And right here you've got Bob Knob and his friend Uno, the Uno Horn.
I love both of those guys.
Thank you. Yeah, I had so much fun with these two. I saved them for last because I'm like, they're going to be the funnest and the cutest.
The goat is just brilliant.
Yeah,
It kind of reminds me of
awesome.
the llama in Oh, what's it?
The
Emperor's New
the
Groove.
Emperor's New Groove.
Oh yes, yes.
Cusco.
Oh my gosh, it does. Yes, I had that same
Right.
thought when I was like, oh, I gotta do the two like that.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's what that makes me think of.
Yeah, but no, but Jeffrey McDowell suggested the goat, and then my wife and daughter just had all these crazy great ideas, and they helped me pick some sift through my sketches I was working on with them, and this is what we ended up with. So I did there's a couple other shots there. I did one where I printed them out, and I haven't painted them yet, obviously, but I wanted to draw the eyes on there so you could see how.
No.
There. Okay, great. I mean, the goat though is the goat. The goat is the goat.
Yeah.
That's
very
awesome.
glad. Yeah, and so we didn't quite make it the stretch goal for that when the campaign ended, but I did decide to leave late pledges open, and if we hit that, then I would unlock it for everybody, and we did. So I was very excited because the set just would have been incomplete without it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So was he your last stretch goal?
Yep, my last stretch goal.
Nice. Cool.
So that's all closed down. I'll be putting out the pledge manager next month. Everything's going off to mold. So
sorry,
that's cool. What was your total backer number on that?
Total backer ended up at 151.
Nice.
And,
nice. Okay.
It was so one extra than I needed. I was thinking about letting it stay. I basically made a deal with myself that I would leave that open until I finished sculpting all the miniatures. And so when I finished sculpting Uno here, I went ahead and hit stop. And then I realized when you do that, you can't edit the page anymore. Your campaign of, it used to be when they hit the last day, you can't touch it. But then I realized you could modify it still. But I didn't think about the fact that when you close it officially, it would shut it down officially. So it still says that Uno is locked, but Uno is not locked. Right. So everybody that backed for the main hero pledge, so basically $40 or more, will get Uno as part of their pledge automatically.
Nice. That's cool. Well, now once all of the backers get their rewards packages and so forth, then these are going to be available for regular sale on your website.
Yep. What I've decided to do is I'm going to combine the Dungeon Meister.
Right.
The Dungeon Meister, the special characters, and Uno will become one set. So basically, everybody on the Kickstarter got a really good deal. But people will. The miniatures will not be unavailable past the Kickstarter. Just everybody got a better deal. So.
And you've been doodling.
Cool.
Yeah. And then I've been doodling. I basically, as soon as I finished sculpting that goat, I move right in, and I am in the midst of working on my next project, which is with Twin Tail Studios, their inaugural board game called the Malice of Light Adventures. So these are sketches, pose ideas for two of the hero characters that I'm going to start with, just to kind of set the tone for what the whole the pieces are going to look like, the kind of dynamics and the style and everything. I mean, it's still going to be my style, but we'll nail down the exact, size and proportion of everything. And then I've got that'll take me through most of the year to finish those, because there's a little over 20 figures to do. So and I'm excited for it. It's been a long time since I know obviously I just did the goblins, but there's a lot of variety in this. You got heroes, you got bosses, you got minions. So, and they're a wide gamut of character types. So I'll be sharing more of those as I have them.
That'd be good.
Anybody have a favorite pose? If you have a favorite pose, put it down.
I should have put it back on.
So I'll tell everybody real quick. The first picture is, go back to that. The first picture is for a cleric. And the next picture, human cleric, is for a halfling rogue. So,
okay.
I'm going to go with one for the first one for the cleric. I think that's
okay.
One or three. I like that outstretched hand thing. Probably.
I keep being drawn to. I keep being drawn to number 2 because I'm not sure what's going on with his right arm.
Oh my gosh!
I just. That's
and
why
I just can't unsee that.
That's why I skipped over that one. I went for 1 and 3. It's just We need to chat
as far as
after the show, Tom.
Right. Put a little black bar over that or something. But as far as the action pose goes, I'm leaning for number 4 because I like that.
Yeah,
that
I really like
arm.
that one too.
Yeah,
that's
that
one of the
one's
things we're trying to figure out and nail down is because we do like action poses, but there's also something about having more of like a statuesque pose, right? Or like just a hero pose.
Heroic. Yeah.
Yep.
And then for the halfling, I kind of like. See, it's a toss up for me between 3 and 6. I don't know. I can't decide which one I like on that one more because I like the forward leaning pose, like haha, I've got you, kind of thing on number 3. But then I also kind of like that number 6 kind of, like he's skidding to it. You can just hear the,
skiddy skid.
Yeah. Yeah. So but it would be one of those two. Yeah.
Cool. Well, thank you guys. And
I like 2. 2's kind of nice and arrogant looking.
Yeah.
That works for me.
I had fun doing these. I love doing pose sketches and just kind of working on all the different ways. It used to freak me out. Not freak me out, but I used to get like stuck because I felt like everything looked the same. But as I've done it more, I find a real joy in, pushing and trying different things and thinking more about the character, ways to set them apart.
I really should do that as well, but I don't. I just throw the puppy on the screen and see what comes out. But it is a better way of working. Is having those sketches.
I need to start trying to do that again. And actually, right here behind me, I have my sketchbook and my little box of pencils and whatnot in order to start that up. Now, since I've been seeing your stuff, it's like, okay, well,
there you go. There's an incentive. So, we'll.
I think you kind of naturally work through it when you're doing like all the guys you were showing, Patrick. When they're grunts, it can still be valuable to do that. But you naturally just kind of hit all the poses. Where I think it's more fun and maybe more important, if I were to suggest to anybody, would be on the heroes, right? Because that's where you can really have the chance to like really think about and pick the pose that's going to highlight them the most.
Yeah.
Can
make a story.
And lend, and impart the character that you're, because the pose is also going to tell you something about their character in a way.
Yes, exactly.
I like the idea that we should, for each episode, do what Tom does and come up with sketches. There's our incentive, Pat. We'll have a sketch for a film. Okay. So it's like homework. Let me add that to my list of other stuff I got to do. List of things to do, because you're not busy.
Right.
Oh well, maybe next time.
No, but that's a great idea. I love that process.
Do it for something you're going to do anyways. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. But see, I mean, even Guillermo del Toro, when they're talking about like his idea about, I want to make this movie or whatever. Well, he makes a little notebook with like all these sketches and collects all of this reference and stuff in it. And it's amazing, Yeah.
So I think I've seen a clip of that. He does a whole storyboards, doesn't he? Down the page,
that's
wow. I did not know that. I'm gonna.
It's very in depth, and he's got one for each movie that he's done, or several for each movie that he's done. The Shape of Water, he'd gone and it's like all these fish references and all that, and even down to like, I want this glass on this table and like, what does that look like? And, that kind of thing. So it's very detailed.
Well, that's professionals for you. Silently exits the screen. Okay. So we'll get on to our topic. And our topic for this episode is what piece of artwork would you like to make a figure from? So I'll go up first. Mine's kind of convoluted in a way because it does show the kind of the figure I'd like to do, but there's a whole background story to it all anyway. So one of my biggest inspirations when I was young for drawing, because I used to draw all the time, was Characters from 2000 AD, which was a British comic that maybe people in the US might not have heard of. But it's basically a sci-fi fantasy comic. And if you've heard of Judge Dredd, you'll know, well, that's where he came from. So, but my favorite comic strip in it all was Nemesis the Warlock, mainly because of the artwork. The artwork was by a guy called Kevin O'Neill, and it was just so different from any of the other artists that were working there at the time. It was very clinically done, and it had lots of shadow added to some of the pictures, and they give a minimalist kind of look to them. But some of them were the exact opposite, and he'd go mental with all the detail. And the picture we got up here now is of a Terminator. Now, yes, that kind of Terminator. And I will die on this hill that 40K is directly inspired by Nemesis the Warlock, because they have they're all called Terminators. They basically they're all alien phobic, so they wander the galaxy just wiping out alien species, and it's I suppose a story for our time almost. But anyway, they were the bad guys, and Nemesis was an alien, and he was their nemesis because he fought against them. It's kind of like the guy who led the resistance, if you like. Yeah. So this picture has always stuck in my mind as kind of emblematic of the Terminators, and it was just really nicely done. I love the armor on it. Yeah, you always used to do this armor that was kind of like medieval, and then it was also sci-fi. It was just he just had a really nice way of mixing things up. So this was probably the figure I'd do as a little diorama, surrounded by all these hideous looking guys in capotes or whatever they're called. I can't remember what they're called. But I really loved his stuff, and I think that's a figure, that's a picture that's stuck in my head for decades now. So that's what I'd probably go for if I was going for any.
What did you say the artist's name was again?
Sorry?
What did you say the artist's name was?
Kevin O'Neill. And this is some more of his stuff, and you can see how elaborate some of his pictures would be. He'd just have lots of little detail hanging around this room. You could go over it again and again and find something new each time. And that's what I loved about his artwork. And this was one of the images that I really, really loved as well. But this is a bit too much for a single figure kind of idea. Yeah. But this parade of the Terminators going to the temple with their banners and their torches and their, they just look utterly, evil. And I just, I always like that kind of opposite of what we all should be. But yeah, that's the kind of artwork I go for. And that this one that you can see in the bottom here, just wrap my mouse around it. That would make another great figure as well. It's the same character, but it's just a different pose. They've been holding up the alien head after he's just cut it off. So that's another cool one that would make a nice figure. So yeah, that's mine.
Very cool.
And then we've got yours, Patrick, which is far more sensible.
Well, there's a little bit of a story behind that I wanted to share with you, and this is the reason why I've picked this particular piece of art. There was I have known about Craig Elliott as an artist for many, many years now. He's a Disney artist that's worked on a lot of different movie productions that you've seen, Treasure Planet to name one, and up to more recent things. But when I first started putting out 75 millimeter figures for Bombshell, he contacted me out of the blue, just out of nowhere, and said, "Oh, hey, that kind of reminds me of these other 75 millimeter kits that I used to get, blah, blah, blah." So we started talking online and kind of developed a friendship, just over the internet. And then several years after that, let's see. Well, he did this as part of a painting tutorial that's available over on Gumroad. So you can go and actually buy this little kit that's got a little, video of him painting this. And he goes through step by step of like how he created this image from the sketch and the reference images all the way up to the finished painting. And so he gifted that to me and said, hey, if you ever want to sculpt this as a 75 millimeter figure, the art is yours. You've got the license to do that. And you can see the date at the bottom of that was like 2017. And I've been sitting on this trying to hone my digital sculpting skills since I started sculpting digitally in 2017 in order to replicate this, to the best of my ability. And so then I wanted to print one out, and send him one. But several years ago, Chad Hoverder and I went to the ZBrush Summit out in California, and I got to meet Craig Elliott in person. We went and had lunch one of the days at the ZBrush Summit and got to hang out and visit and all this. And he signed one of my art books that I have of his. And so that was a really cool opportunity to get to meet him finally and hang out. Yeah, I would like to sculpt this.
You got this back.
And hopefully I will.
Yeah,
I hopefully will get to, the only thing that, and we've kind of gone back and forth a little bit about it when we were talking about it back in the, when he first originally sent it to me is how to attach the little floating.
I was just going to ask that. Yeah.
And it's like, and we haven't been able to work out. It's like, well, how would that work, as a kit, to where it would still float and still keep her pose. And it's like, well, would there be like a little wire that would attach to the back of her and it would, I don't know. I'm still
put it on her finger. I mean, you'd have to change it up a little bit, but she could have
you have to change the pose up. Yeah.
Well, you just have to, the hand could come out on the finger.
Yeah. The only thing I can think of too, that it would still be a change, but maybe not as much, is the hair, make it sweep differently.
Yeah, where it would sweep up and then kind of move him out a little bit, and then that way she could be and adjust her pose.
But it would be very fun.
That's a great idea.
That's like that adds a lot of charm.
Yeah. Well, the cool thing about it is that the way that he's rendered her body type is based on a specific model that he chose to do this piece of art, and the expression that she has where she's looking at the alien is. He picked that because it's also unusual. It's not like typical pinup type things that you see, it's because it's very expressive and it adds a lot of character to it. So all of that. So I've been, I've had this, in my back catalog, like, because I don't want to ruin it. I want to do something that it's like, it's going to capture everything that he captured in the piece of art. And that's one of the things that I always look for, when I get concept art or I get illustrations or whatever from clients and stuff. It's like, well, how can I do the best that I can do on this? And so, maybe we'll see it, at some point.
Just go for it. I mean, I fail to see how you would not make a good job of that. There's two people I know that make female figures really well. You and Kev White both do.
Oh yeah,
really good female figures.
So right,
he'd do that, but with bigger hips.
Yeah, well, that's true. Yeah.
Probably bigger boobs as well.
But see, I'm kind of up on him now at this point because he's out of circulation since
he's working for the Evil Empire.
Since he's in the grindhouse, right?
I forgot we don't mention his name anymore.
right, yeah. Now he's part of the team that is part of Kevin White as part of the team. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really cool. You should definitely make a start on it, if nothing else.
Yeah. Well, I'll keep you guys posted once I start working on it.
She will make a really good 75 mil. Yeah.
Yeah. But I would want him to be happy with it, because so I would want to send him stuff and say, hey, I'm started on this and all that. And now that I've put it out there in the public, I'm gonna have to start on
Pressure's on now. So, Pressure's on.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So
I'm gonna ask you every episode, have you done it yet?
Right.
Okay,
well,
Tom.
Well, Tom, I got a pretty good idea of what you've got in mind, so I'm looking forward to seeing what you picked.
Yeah, so this character is called Brass Demure. He is from Battle Chasers, if anybody's familiar with that old comic that was
Absolutely.
actually revitalized a couple years ago. They finally came out with issues 10, 11, 12. And man, I read them as soon as they came out, love that series, but it had been a while. And so I'm like, I want to reread it again. So I read the whole series again. And I'm like, I think they wrapped up some stuff. And I read those last 3 issues again. I'm like, oh my gosh, they didn't wrap anything up. They made it worse cliffhanger than it was before.
Right.
But speaking of that, when I first came across this comic and came across this character, he's just in a few pages, but I just love the look of him. It's kind of like Street Fighter Sagat, but he's like this fantasy monk villain guy. And I've just always, I don't know, I've just loved the musculature and the simple cloth. There's some great poses and dynamic action going on in the comic for those few shots. But man, speaking, I guess he does get up pretty quickly in the thing, but they trump him up like he was going to be so. I still think he's a cool character.
Yeah, right.
I would really
he's got the Darth Maul treatment in that. It's like we're going to set up and design this super cool, awesome character, and then we're going to cut him in half, like right before the end of the movie. It's like, what?
Yes. I have hope that, like, if they ever do Battle Chasers more regularly, which, I'm dreaming, they will do like a flashback, right? And bring him back. Oh, this is, how what he was getting up to trouble with back in the day. And how he had
is he like an anti-hero?
I think maybe a little bit. Like he was in this super mega prison for ultra super villain guys, and he says a couple things that makes it seem like he's not totally a villain, but maybe he's opposed against the heroes for whatever reason. So yeah, I think so, but we don't really know because there's really not much on him.
Very dynamic looking figure with the way he's drawn.
I love all those
shoulders,
bouldery muscles, and
right,
weird, odd little proportions here and there. And so when I do them, I really do like that very first pose of him just standing there. But I want to come up with something that's really dynamic and over the top. If I ever sculpted this guy,
yeah, he's not. I like the big flowing pants, and that you could use him in your samurai games.
That's true. Exactly.
Definitely samurai pants, those.
Yeah. And if you don't sculpt all the little ovals and stuff on him where it's just the figure, you could do that because it would be, very generic unless somebody painted it specifically like that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like he's got baggy pants and wrist wraps on, and it's like, how specific is that really? I mean, you could do something like that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It gives me a quick thought for a slight detour. We can keep it real quick. What do you have a preference for that? Sculpting something that could be painted or leaving it open to be painted? What are your thoughts on that?
Depends on IP, I think.
What did you say?
It depends on the IP.
Oh. But I'm talking about more like even on a shield, right? You'll sometimes people will sculpt like a rose on the shield, or they'll leave it flat. And I actually came up with that with what I just did, and I chose to leave it flat because then people can put whatever they want on there. But part of me was like, oh, should I paint a little horse emblem because to reinforce and so that the plain sculpt looks cooler.
Sure. Yeah.
I like the idea of people being able to do their own thing, but I know there's a lot of people out there are glad when they don't have to think about it and they can just put paint on. So, so that's the joy of STLs. You can do both fairly easily.
Yeah,
that's a good point. That's a good point.
I'm of two minds on that, and I mean, I can understand, having something, having the relief of, it's easier to paint. It's like if it's got this design on it. However, as the sculptor, back when I was sculpting stuff for Privateer Press, I did a character with like a big banner thing. And so I went in and I wasn't clear on what was going on. And I don't know if it was communicated to me or not, but I did the banner and I etched all of the stuff in it as relief. And then I sent them pictures and they were like, oh, no, we just want that blank.
The worst.
So I was like, well, let's see. Is it going to be more work to just fill it in? or should I just sculpt another banner? And I just sculpted another
It's just
banner, but
easier,
then I
isn't
had to
it, to do
trash
it
that,
again?
and it was like, oh,
Man.
okay, because it was all in putty, and so
Oh, even worse.
you know, yeah,
Even worse.
yeah.
Oh.
So I don't know, but yeah, with the STL thing, it's like, well, yeah, you could make 2 versions of it, but I know that Cadian flag, it's got all the
Mhm.
things, on it in relief, and it's like, yeah, that makes that easier to paint for people that want to paint that specific image. But then at the same time, it's like, well, what if I wanted a different flag?
Yeah.
Now I've got to either make my own or something. So yeah,
I'm jotting this down as a future topic because I think we could delve into this a lot more.
Yeah.
It's a controversial subject, shall we say?
Yeah. I can laugh about it now, but at the time I was waiting on that movie, it was like,
I bet you weren't at the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's a cool character. You should definitely have a go at him, Tom. He'd make a really fun figure. And like I say,
it kind of reminds me. What was the character that you did for? Well, I know it's an effigy mini, but you had done like a sci-fi character with like, I guess he had like a cybernetic arm or something like that. What was that character called?
I did. Well, the more recent one I did.
The latest.
Sorry, Phantom Vulture. He had hair.
Yeah.
My brain was trying to think. Did I sculpt anybody bald? Oh no, you're talking about something.
Yeah.
Phantom.
No. But the way that because the artist that you had that worked on the design for that you sculpted from.
Yeah.
See, it reminds me a lot of this kind of character. It's like I think that you would be able to take and pose him, something like the way that character is. I see that there's a consistency of style in that, So
cool.
I think it would fit in with your
awesome.
with your other stuff, if you did something similar, So that's all I'm saying.
Very, very cool.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well that wraps up that bit of the show, which is kind of fun.
Yeah,
I must admit it's nice going through old artwork for this particular thing and just trying to find stuff that you were. I went through all my art books, and in the end, I was just sat there thinking, well, what really captured my imagination at one point, and that was and I just went back to childhood and comics.
That's cool. Yeah.
And thankfully, I had the digital versions of it all. So, because my mother threw out all my comics when I joined the army.
That story happens way too often.
Yes,
I know.
Okay, so what are we working on next, chaps? Go with Tom.
Well, did we want to, before we did that, did we want to talk about the STL files, or did we want to do that next?
That's not the order, but we can do that.
Okay.
No, we can do that. No, let's do that. Okay, let's. No, you're right. You're right. I've got it in the other order here. Pay no attention, folks.
Okay.
It's all under control. Okay. Let's talk about.
We have no idea what we're doing.
None of us do. And that goes for not just this podcast. So, yes, STL of the month. I got this one recently, and I've been sat on it for a while, because it's. I kind of thought, do I want to get it and just have it sat there and not print it out, because it's a big piece. It's not small. This. I imagine that the size of the base is probably 50 or 60 mil. And this is the False Hydra from Comic Lord Miniatures. And he's actually got a bit of a video on YouTube of him designing this, which was kind of fun to watch. I had a watch of that today. But this is just such a great piece. I think you could use it for something small. It'd be like a mutant. It kind of reminds me of The Thing, where it comes out and just mutates from people and joins people together and all that kind of stuff. And I've just loved this for a long time. So I finally pulled the trigger on it recently, and that's going to hit the printer at some point. And the good thing about it is it'd be easy to paint because it's just all skin.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
And it comes with all these little add-ons like these hands that are kind of like, if you have your characters kind of cut a bit off, cut one of our hands off, it could grow more hands and then that wriggle across the floor kind of thing, which I thought was pretty cool.
Right.
And then if you cut head off, then the head comes back with just like a small body and some more hands and grippy things. But I just thought, this is such a great figure, and it looks utterly malevolent. So I kind of like that bit as well. So that's my recommendation for this month: Comic Lords Miniatures, False Hydra. We got Patrick's next.
Oh, okay. I have picked the what's she called? The Daughter of Hatred from Bite the Bullet Miniatures. And this is something that I've had in my, you can put a little wish list together on my mini factory, and I've had it in there for quite a while. And it's kind of loosely based on, I guess, the character that's in Diablo 4?
Right, yeah. I thought I recognised that somewhere. Yeah,
something like that, because and I can't get anything past Diablo 2 or so because it's not available for Mac, so I can't run any of those. So so I haven't gotten that.
Shouldn't be so elitist.
But right. So I saw this in there, and it was like they had it on sale during the summer sale. So I thought I'm going to go ahead and snag it, while it's in there on sale. So, because I've had it that I've been, waiting to get it for such a long time, and it's really cool. But it's originally sculpted and scaled for like game scale, so tabletop. So she's like this size, but
she'd print up bigger than that and look really good.
Oh well, speaking of that, so I just got her off the printer today, so it's a magnificent sculpt.
That's really nice.
So I scaled her up 210% in order to give it like a 75 millimeter height. And her feet are like right here, where you can see she's got them kind of tucked up under, like because she's floating, above her dress. So so this is all like, I want to say it's like a little over 3.5 inches or so, something like that. So yeah, she's still big, but it's pretty close to that. And I've got the wings here. So
that's going to be a lovely piece.
Yeah, so she's really awesome, and I want to paint this up. There's a painting contest. Have you guys heard of the Monte San Savino painting event that's in Italy? Well, it's kind of a big deal as far as like display painters go, because it's that's all it is like busts and 75 things all painted up to the highest level that they can paint and whatnot. And there's a guy here in Texas that's been coordinating workshops, bringing people over from Europe, doing painting workshops and stuff in the Austin area. And he's scheduled. They're doing a painting competition show and workshop thing next summer in July called Pigment. And between now and then, I'll talk to you guys a little bit more about Pigment as a miniature event kind of thing. But he says he wants to do a Monte San Savino type of event here in the US, and it's going to be in Austin. And so I'm super excited. Bombshell's going to be sponsoring some stuff for that event, and we're going to be going there and being vendors and so forth. And I'm painting this to enter into that painting competition.
Nice.
For next summer. So I went ahead and printed it out so I can get it cleaned up and kind of work on that between now and then. So
so we'll be seeing it on the show in several months.
I'll probably be taking little snapshots along the way as I'm working on it. But I've got a very clear idea of what I want to do with it at this point. So yeah,
it's really cool. And only $14 as well.
That into the hobby stuff. Yeah,
that's a really nice piece. I like some of their stuff. I've got some of their Lord of the Rings, or not Lord of the Rings.
I've got a lot of that stuff really too.
Cool.
The orcs in that, and
the little goblin.
Those they're terrific.
Cool. Tom, you've got something rather interesting.
Yeah, and I need to do what Patrick's been doing. And you, Bill, putting the place that what the figure is, the price, and where to get it. I'll tell you.
Okay.
Do too.
So this is a figure by Varus Miniatures. I think it's called the Paymaster or something like that. But Varus Miniatures has a really robust line of 10 millimeter miniatures. Playing stuff like War Master or whatever. I'm assuming that's what the focus is, considering most of it looks like kind of old Hammer style. But this particular piece, I just am totally charmed by. One, because one of my favorite video games in the Warhammer world of all time is The Shadow of the Horned Rat, which you play as a mercenary company, and you've got a little paymaster and a war chest and all that stuff. So I got a total kick out of that. And I just love these little expressions on these guys.
Yeah,
it's the Sultan from Aladdin, isn't it?
It is.
That's what that looks like to me. Yeah.
Right.
It's awesome. I love it, especially if it's only 10 mil.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm really getting a kick out of like how so many people they will. I've seen a lot of figures where they'll take it out of 15 or 10 millimeter in with 3D files like this, and they still sculpt them like they're big, but Varus has done a good job of, what I think these are maybe 4 heads tall. So they're really making sure you're still going to be able to get a little bit of expression out of their face.
It's a challenge for sure, making something that small.
That's it. They've got a ton of character, and the details on the cart with the coins and the wood grain and all that. That's really cool.
Like you said, it's very old Hammer, isn't it? Reminds me of all the Empire war wagons and stuff like that.
Yeah. I've always been intrigued by this scale as well, 15s or 10s in this case, because to be honest, that's probably like the cooler way to play Warhammer if you really think about it. More time's great. You've got your few guys running around, and that makes sense. When we play Warhammer, it does look cool when you have a lot of 28 millimeters, but like to really make it an army, you need a ton.
Yeah.
Your figures.
Yeah. And the time to paint them.
Yeah, the time to paint
right. Well, it's something that small shouldn't take very long, particularly if sponging stuff.
Right.
I've been down the epic road, and I still spend forever just dot until insane. So
and I have to admit, I've not painted any at this size. 15s are the smallest I've ever done, and
you can be very obsessive. It's not good for people who have got an addictive personality or OCD. Cool. Okay. Well,
my pick.
That.
Very cool.
So now it's what's next. Dun, da, da. So what are we working on next, Tom?
For me, it's going to be Malice of Light Adventures miniatures. I'm going to be head down working on that. I might sneak in some another thing, but I'm not going to say what it is because I don't want to make that promise yet because I just don't know. But might have another thing for Effigy, my line, that I'll sneak in before then, but we'll see.
Have you got a list of what you're going to tackle in order?
I do. Thanks for prompting me to talk a little bit more about what I got going on. I have my whole list made, just like I did when I did the Goblin Menace. I've got I made a grid, and I've got columns where it's rows tells you what figure I'm doing, columns what stage it's in, just to help keep myself honest and to see some more obvious progress, visual progress. But what I'm starting with is working on the figures for that specifically they'll be using the demo kit, and that'll be 4 heroes and one of the villains. So I'll get the 2 heroes done in short order, and then I'm going to start on a villain, and then I'll wrap up the other 2, and then I'll move on to working on all the other pieces.
Are you going to preview any here, or have you got?
I will try, yes, and I should be able to. But I want to get them a little further. I might have to wait. I need to talk with the team. I need to make sure because we might be waiting to show them off until the demo kit's available. But that's coming up real soon, so it won't be long. Might miss it for the next episode, but the one after. Most likely.
I think it'd be cool for people to watch the progression of a game being put together like that.
I'll take pictures or some videos or whatever. And even if I can't show them in the next one, I'll bank them. I can have more to talk about when I can.
Cool. Patrick, you.
Cool. Well, I've got a whole bunch of stuff. I feel like you were talking about earlier, where it's like, oh, I'm so busy doing all this different stuff. As far as videos go, the next video that's coming out is the like I said, the Grimdark buildings that I talked about earlier, and then the one after that, I'm going to be reposting the Penitent engine conversion video.
Oh yeah, that was nice.
So yeah, it'll be. I've got to go back and tweak some stuff on that and recut some things, and then I'll upload that. And then as far as work stuff goes, I just finished. I didn't have time to get the pictures of it in for the. Well, I don't even know that they'd want me to show those yet. But I was sculpting a bird character for DGS Games for their Free Blades tabletop game, and so that I just wrapped that up, and then I'm going to go back to working on their what is it, urban fantasy game or whatever that they're supposed to be demoing at Adepticon next year. So I'll go back to working on that, working on the sisters stuff for Tabletop Time, which we talked about earlier. And then for Bombshell, I've got a bunch of Critterkins because Vicky's working on a Critterkin game where it's kind of like a Pokemon / pet battle type of skirmish game where you've got little critters fighting each other, or you get like a little crew of critters and they have all these different abilities and they fight. So I'm taking some of our clearance minis that we had in metal that we've cleared out, and I'm resculpting some of those so that now they're going to be digital STL files, and then we can print them in resin. So Doom Bunny is coming. I've got a little teddy bear and a pony thing that's going to go with him, and then I've got a set of angel cats that are supposed to go with the trench characters that I did earlier, the trench girls. And so then for Halloween we're doing a pumpkin pal set, so it'll be a little pumpkin thing, and that kind of stuff for us. And the Vorog that I showed earlier, we'll be working on that. And then as far as hobby stuff goes, when I get these
you haven't got time for hobby.
No, I shouldn't have time for it, but it's really the only thing that kind of keeps me sane is that I look forward to like, I can paint, and do that stuff.
I've been a good boy after my work.
Yeah. So it's the Sentinel is what I'll start on next, and I'll show you guys that.
That's a nice figure.
Yeah. It's cool. Yeah. So Bill, what you got lined up?
I have got. I've just finished off the 28mm versions of Patrick Harper for War Games Atlantic. So now I'm on the 54mm version. I actually forgot to mention this, but we'll throw it in the next one. But I did a model of Richard Sharp for their upcoming Sharp's Rifles game. And so I'm just doing his sidekick now, Mr. Harper, and I don't know who's next, but I've got to get through the 54mm version first. It's kind of nice seeing a figure in plastic. I've never done a plastic figure before, so it's kind of cool seeing the kit. And it's had a couple of people have reviewed it on YouTube and liked it, so that's kind of nice. So I've got that week.
You need to make sure Peachy gets a copy of that.
Oh, I think he probably already has. He probably already has, in all fairness.
I would imagine so.
I gave him the Sharp I did for myself prior to that when we were at Adepticon, but I don't know whether he likes it or not because he's never mentioned it since. Maybe I thought I was crap one though. But so yeah, I've got that. I've got to finish off Dave's. The thing I'm working on at the moment is the last of those figures for Dave, the Hobgoblins.
For the MCDM?
Yeah. So now I'm the last man standing, apparently.
Okay.
He thought it'd be you, but it's me. So,
well, he contacted me last week and said, "Hey, can you get these done?" And I was like, "Here you go."
Yeah.
I want to get those off the plate.
I left this figure to last because I really like the artwork for it. But making it, I hate the artwork now because it's really quite So it's taken a lot longer than, and there's much wailing and gnashing of teeth doing this one. But it'll look nice when it's done. I've just got to get it done. So that's probably all I'm going to be working on this week. But I'm kind of itching to get on with more silver bayonet stuff for the British. And there's a million other things I want to do. Oh, another thing is, and I can mention it here, is getting ready for an upcoming Kickstarter by Trenchworks. Their Snap Tray Kickstarter.
Oh, yeah.
And if you've not heard of this, basically, they're putting together lots of bundles from various different sculptors. And they're going to be offering them for, a really good price on this backer kit. There's no STLs, it's all physical. But you can get things from myself, Victoria Miniatures. I can't remember who else is in it. Are you in it, Patrick?
If I am, I don't know. So
okay,
most of the stuff
that I know.
yeah. Most of the stuff that I've done for Victoria is all her Adepticon special edition things. Okay. So I don't think they'd probably be offering that on this. Yeah,
no, probably not. I think
Forrest, it may be some of the older figures or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I think Forrest from Knuckle Dusters in it as well. And that's obviously cool. Trenchwork stuff as well. So there'll be lots of different variety of stuff there for people to grab. If you want to, start a project and you see something there, you'll get them for a really good price. So that's another thing I've got to work on is kind of titivating some of the STLs for that. So that's going to keep me busy for probably the next 2 weeks. So, yes. Cool. So that about wraps it up, chaps. Any questions?
It sure does. Another great episode.
It's always fun chatting with you guys.
Yeah.
It's I didn't have a cookie this time. There's
right.
We had the last of the cookies the other day, so I'm out of cookies. So yeah. Although the audience wouldn't know that because that's usually on the off. Usually,
that's on the off days.
Yeah.
So cookie watch. Everybody who's watching, if you got this far, leave a comment down in the description with the cookie emoji. Be on cookie watch to see if Bill will have one next time.
Yeah, we'll go for
that. We should bring our own favorite biscuits and
that's right. Yeah,
spotlight those. Yeah.
Listen,
you can't say biscuits. That's
old English.
You gotta say cookie.
The English, with the E on the end of it. Yeah.
Oh, I just a completely different subject. There's a string of stores here in Ohio called Sweets and Geeks, and they basically sell gaming stuff and candy.
Okay,
but my local one has a shelf just of British candy, British chocolate, which for the uninitiated over here in America, British chocolate is far superior. Even if it's made by it just is. It just is. It just tastes. Hershey's tastes plastic to me. It's like eating plastic.
Right.
I just can't even, as the kids say.
I will eat plenty of Hershey's, but I think I agree with you, Bill.
Yeah. It just. First time I tasted it, it was just disgusting. But anyway, it's got lots of candy from my childhood, so I was very happy when I discovered that this week.
That's very cool. Yeah. You get you a big Toblerone bar.
They didn't have Toblerone, but they did have Aero, and they had Curly Whirlies, which was a childhood favorite.
I just had a mint Aero the other day.
Yeah, the
World Market. It was fantastic.
Yeah, the mint ones are really nice. And I treated myself to a Mars bar the other day as well.
Okay.
Yeah, a decadent luxury. No wonder my sugar spikes when I have my blood done. Okay, it's a wrap.
It's a wrap. Let's tell everybody where we can find each other. Bill, where can people find you? You can find my wares at lostheresyminiatures.com. And you can also find them on My Miniature Factory. And I also have a Patreon under the same name. So, yes. Fantastic. You, Patrick? Most of my stuff is over on bombshellminis.com. You can find me on Instagram under bombshellminis. You can find me on Instagram as Sculpt Dude, and our hobby channel with all of our hobby videos that we're working on is Table Ready or Not on Instagram and on YouTube. Awesome. Those are very fun. Everybody needs to check that out.
Thanks.
Especially the hobby one. I really like the hobby one.
Yeah.
Thank you. So where's your stuff, Tom?
Yep, you can find me. My miniature line is at effigyminis.com, or you can find me on YouTube as Tom Mason Sculptor, where I teach people how to sculpt miniatures, amongst other things. And if you want to find all my random social media, just search for thetommason.com. I've got it all aggregated in one place there.
And if people want that samurai figure thing that you did, they should
find that on Effigy.
He release it.
Yes, if you want that, let me know if you're interested, and I'll see what I can do.
I'll buy that for $1. As
awesome.
The saying goes.
Right.
Awesome.
Cool.
Oh, before we close out, I have a question for our viewers.
Oh.
And it's related to our topic. Hopefully everybody made it this far. I think maybe in the future we prep them that there's going to be a question at the end that they should listen to.
Yeah.
Respond. So here's the question this
Keep the
time.
tension going.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
What were we talking about?
Get to the question.
So, what art have you always looked at and thought would be really cool to sculpt, or even if you're not going to sculpt it, that you would like to see as a miniature? So go ahead and put that down in the comments. Put a link if you can, so we can check it out. It'd be very interesting to see what everybody has to say.
Cool.
Looking forward to it.
All right. Well, great chat with you guys.
You too.
And thanks everybody for listening. We will see you next time on the Sculptsters.
Adios.
The Sculptsters. Later.